This is Tom
And
from BlackToad Studios, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Apocalypse because
yeah, on the Warhammer community site, of course, they've released a little teaser of Warhammer 40,000 Apocalypse. And of course, being Apocalypse and BlackToad Studios go hand in hand together.
yes, definitely, we definitely have a bit of a attraction to playing the Apocalypse games on the channel. Definitely one of our favourite game types, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys enjoy them too. So, on the little teaser video, no words, because why would there be words on, pictures say 1,000 words.
Yeah, exactly, and the video says more.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the video, it's got a couple of things that are quite interesting. First off, movement trays.
Yeah, definitely saw some of them sneaking in there. I think there was possibly some D10s as well.
Yeah,
knocking on a couple of the pictures that were just thrown up.
Yeah, and of course it said a new game to play. So it does seem that Apocalypse may be its own game, which is very interesting.
Yeah, and I think it could mean some potentially quite big changes for Apocalypse games, I'd imagine, especially with movement trays if they're adding them in.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a bit speculative at the moment. But,
yeah, I've been going to the movement trays. It's quite nice that Games Workshop are jumping on the bandwagon now and doing these movement trays that we've seen from third-party groups for a long time with their MDF ones. It seems these are sort of transparent plastic ones, which is quite cool.
Because there's obviously a kind of a need or want for them, I'd imagine, or demand, I suppose. So.
Yeah, I think the thing is, in general, 40k, if you're going to be moving 40 one squad of 40 cultists, or big squads of bloodletters or orcs, you're kind of wanting your movement trays, especially in a competitive environment when you don't want that look on your opponent.
This is true. Yeah.
When you turn up the swarm army and they're like, right, okay,
this is going to be an 80-minute move.
Get the chest clock.
Get the chest clock. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think in that respect, if they are going for that for movement stuff, I think it will speed up play in certain ways. I think there are certain situations where movement trade may be a hindrance, because especially maybe on some of our boards, because obviously we play with a lot of scatter terrain, for instance. So I mean, that's
maybe it's just for a different application though that you're looking for Apocalypse games. So then, when you're making your board, you then have to take that into consideration. That you go, well, actually, I've got a lot of orcs here, a few movement trays. Let's try and keep them all quite coherent. But by looking at the video, it looks like the movement trays you can get them for 5, so you don't necessarily have them for 10. So 5 units of breast isn't really that much of a problem.
No, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're hexagonal or something like that, they slot together in bigger groups and break away or something. Something like that anyway. But we don't really know much about it, so it's all a bit speculative. And obviously, going over to like dice types, it could mean there's potentially going to be some very bespoke rules for it, I'd imagine. Maybe one theory might be to have much more damaging attacks that take away larger amounts of troops or stuff like that.
Definitely speed the game up, because of the nature of Apocalypse is it tends to be get a few people together, have a day or a 2-day game. You can't really necessarily put that into your standard game format. So Games Workshop obviously presumably kind of putting in a format where you can speed it up, where you remove 5 models at a time, 10 models at a time, rather than go, right, just 1 model. Which is an interesting way of looking at it, and it'd be interesting to play if it is that.
Yeah, and obviously the other thing I did see in the foreground, I think there was a stack of cards with a symbol on the back of them, so I would assume they're bringing out some Apocalypse-specific cards or stratagems, or especially because obviously back in old Apocalypse, when they had the stratagem cards, which are obviously a kind of a precursor to the stratagems that we have as standard now in 40k. And obviously there used to be quite far-reaching effects for the whole board, sometimes also quite devastating effects sometimes, depending on what army you're playing, and things like, I think they had smoke lines across the board, things like line of sight blockers and things like that. So
if you look at like Vigilus, what we've got at the moment, how they're now bringing in detachments, you spend a point on that detachment to then give that detachment a special rule. You're then almost like looking back at old Apocalypse, going, I'm going to have that formation with 3 Lords of Skulls. For some reason, someone somewhere would have 3 Lords of Skulls, and they would charge them in and have a special rule, and you'd be spending your command points before the actual game. So that's an interesting way of looking at it that I think possibly Games Workshop might be thinking to go down that route. You can see it kind of happening slowly. and now suddenly they're like, oh, okay, let's bring this out.
And so yeah, I mean, obviously, my kind of hopes as well as having a few more missions than the 2 that were provided in chapter approved, with some more interesting scenarios that they kind of suggest. Obviously, I mean, obviously, free reign to make your own ones, but sometimes it's quite nice to have a bit of guidance and to just sort of on how to get a game working and up and running in a small time frame. So
yeah, no, definitely, quite opens it up to a whole different level of game.
Definitely.
From you going for your tiny little kill team, which of course has its own rule system away from 40k, although they share a lot, they are still very different.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully Apocalypse will share a lot with Warhammer 40,000, but then has its own like unique selling point.
A little twist on it. I mean, obviously, personally, I do obviously as it's a box game, it does worry me in some aspects. You know, are they going to pull it away from the way that we've obviously been playing it as in large scale points wise, upping the number to ridiculous numbers like 15,000, 20,000. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's bigger games out there, but I mean, will it change the way that works, or are you going to pick in a certain format, or are they going to change the point costs at a large level so it works on the new format? And will any of the rules change as well from basic 40k? I'm sure they will, but to what extent is the real question, and then how much will that take away from the enjoyment of rolling a hell of a lot of dice for lots of stuff? I mean, obviously that comes with that kind of style of game. So
yeah, I think the thing is with 8th edition, the selling point was that it's simplified.
Yes,
you don't have to have lots of books. Although we're now seeing that you do have to have a small collection of books.
Yes,
the rules I still think are relatively straightforward and simple, and so I feel that some of that will be put across to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And you'll be potentially using your current codexes alongside this new Apocalypse book, and then hopefully it will just kind of work lovely. And
and obviously you've seen that willingness of them republishing books that have come out to amalgamate rule sets. For instance, obviously recently the Shadowspear box has now generated a Chaos 2.0 codex, which was...
Yeah, so how do you feel about Chaos 2.0? Not necessarily the codex as such, but the way it's being put forward now.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think bringing in all those extra units that hadn't had a lot of love for years, I think was really, really good thing to do. Plus it means that they're very open to, bringing out a small supplement and then eventually rolling that into the main book.
Yes.
And it's nice to see they've got that line of progression. Obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to realise that that'll happen with Marines eventually. The Vanguard have got to go in at some point, so there will be a Space Marine 2.0 codex, I'd imagine. But I like the fact that with regards to the Chaos one, it's actually made me quite enthusiastic to collect a few more Chaos stuff from my Night Lords as well. So
yeah, I think it's a good step forward, because it was getting to that point where the rules, the points in the codex were way out.
Yeah.
Although I'm not saying the ones in a new one in a few months won't be null and void again.
Of course not,
and suddenly you're back to square one. But it's nice to have the updates, the Demonkin stuff going in there, and having that bit come up. And the good thing was that Games Workshop did say if you got the digital copy, you can get a free upgrade.
Which should have been happening all the time.
Yeah,
really. So
definitely.
I think it's because obviously if you buy that digital copy, that's one of the reasons you're buying it.
Yeah.
Rather than having to constantly buy the same copy over again. So.
I mean, my personal feeling about digital codex, I'm not a big fan.
No.
And then you've got to mess around with a tablet and find it. And yet, when you've got a physical book in front of you, you can kind of work out where it is. You've got to open it up and go from there. And it's just a shame that there's no sort of free couple of pages to print off and just keep them that way.
Yeah, I mean, but that times change that as well. So as time goes on, hopefully those digital ones become easier to use. But to be honest, I don't see myself replacing my books with digital copies, because I like you, I just prefer having the book. I think. I mean, obviously there comes a point when it might get out of control, and
like we said before, if you suddenly got plenty of books to take with you, you have to take almost another bag for your books.
Yes, definitely.
And make sure you're carrying them. But I think it's a great sign. It's nice to see that they're doing that, and especially with Marines. There's so much stuff coming out for Primaris in particular, that it'd be good to have all this stuff coming in and a nice little update for them.
Yeah, because when me and Dom had a game off camera, obviously sorry for that, but we had a little game last night, playing Monday night I should say, playing the Primaris ones that I got in the box set, and they were quite interesting to play with. So quite optimistic about what I'm going to do with them. Be red scorpions, by the way, eventually.
Dead red scorpions.
There were a few dead ones, I must admit. Yeah, but it's nice to see the. I mean, obviously, it's pretty hard to keep up with the rate of releases sometimes for armies, and I think we're both feeling that a little bit. Just trying to keep on top of A, do we buy the models, and B, when we get time to paint them.
So my personal thing this year was I'm going to cut back on my buying. I've got a backlog as long as your arm, and I need to get through it. And then suddenly Games Workshop, all this time, decided to re-release Chaos.
Yeah. Especially like the standard Chaos kit as well.
Like Havocs
as well, which are actually looking very good.
Toughness 5.
Rules and models.
Exactly.
So, can't really complain there.
No, really good stuff. So, well, I could complain. I'm still going to complain. Games Workshop, just take it back a bit. I'll give you my schedule, and if you could release alongside that,
that would be great. That would be great. keep on top of things. So
if you could release some other armies, Elder, Tau, Chitauri, Sisters of Battle, things that I'm not interested in, and just do them for now.
Mainly to put the pressure more on me. I get it.
Got to take one for the team.
That and terrain. I mean, all these things seem to be generating little bits of terrain as well. So. I'm having a bit of fun painting up some stuff at the moment for the event. So
of course we've got our first event coming up soon, and we'll be putting plenty of photos, and there'll be a little video up of our first event. Very excited about it. Nice narrative event. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. We're going to be doing this quite regularly, and kind of building up the storyline. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll have more details on a future video for that coming up.
We'll give some updates on that and how we're progressing with it as well. So definitely want to try and keep that going for a long period of time.
Very exciting times.
Right,
so I think that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. So this is Dom
and Tom,
BlackToad Studios. Take care.
Take care.